everyone, this is Prem Kumar and I'm here to explain about my first laboratory project of EE542 Internet and Cloud Computing. The project's goal is to become familiar with DETERLab's operation. So for this experiment, I'm going to implement a simple network with 4 nodes. DETERLab stands for Defense Technology Experimental Research Laboratory. It's basically a state-of-art scientific computing facility and it has around 200 nodes. It has 2 clusters, USC ISI cluster and UCB cluster, and both these clusters are connected using a high-speed 1 gigabits per second dedicated link. DETERLab is basically used for cybersecurity research, which includes multi-resolution virtualization, cyber attack research, and cyber defense technologies research. Simulator script. First thing that we do is set up a new simulator, then set up different nodes, node A, node B, node C, node D. Then a link is set up between node A and node B, which has a transmission rate of 30 MB and delay of 50 milliseconds and drop tail. Then we have a loss of 0.01. Then a LAN is set up between node D, node C and node B, which has transmission of capacity 100 MB and 0 milliseconds delay, and OS for different nodes are implemented, and then the routing protocol, which is static in nature, is implemented. This is the DETERLab login page. Here I use my username and password to log into DETERLab. And as and when we log in, this is the screen that appears. Then I'm gonna go to experimentation, begin an experiment. So the name of the experiment is experiment 1 and the description is experiment 1 of E542. So we need to choose the NS file. This is the NS file that is being chosen. Then I give an idle art of 1 hour. Then I click into the swap and immediately, and submitting this creates a new experiment. And this window shows us the working of the experiment 1. It is successfully swapped in. We see that the status of the experiment becomes active. Here we can see the details of the experiment that has been created. It is successfully swapped in. We can use terminal to SSH into different nodes. First I use SSH command to log into DETERLab. Now I have successfully logged into DETERLab. Now I use SSH command to log into node A. Thus I have successfully logged into node A. The same procedure can be repeated to log into node B. And logout is the command that is used to come out of node A or any other node as such. Is to install an RPM file, and in the NS file we need to include this particular line. Editing the NS file, and when the experiment is successfully swapped in, we come to the terminal to check whether the RPM file is installed or not. So for that I log into my DETERLab. Now I'm into my DETERLab. So I go to this particular folder. And here you can see this is the RPM file that I had tried to install, and you can see it is successfully installed in this particular RPMs folder. Is to install a tar file, and for that we have to make a small change in the base ns file, and this line is to be added in the ns file. When the ns file is updated and when the experiment is successfully logged in, we can use terminal to check whether the installed tar file is available or not. So I log into DETERLab using my username and password. So this is the location where the file is present. ls, it has tar files, and then when I do ls, I find my particular tar file r3.5.1 that I tried to install, and it is successfully installed. That is to be implemented is starting automatically a program when we log into the DETERLab, and for that particular thing we use these two lines ns file, and when the experiment is successfully swapped in, we ssh into the DETERLab. Now I SSH into node B. So I'm into it. Now I'm into node B. And when I go to project /e 542 and do ls, and here you can see hello.sh is the file that I require. Now I move this hello.sh file to another location. So when I open this frame.log file, I can see the required output that is obtained. And this is the end of the whole project, and thank you for seeing this video.